Hi folks, I can share some details about the future Nikon ZF classic design full-frame camera that will be announced in August. A source that actually shared some correct rumors about Sony in the past also shared some details about this camera, and I'm going to talk about this in this video. But before that, please take 2 seconds time to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button to not miss any of my upcoming videos. Well, it looks like we are going to have a sort of classic design camera launch period now, because Nikon is rumored to announce a new ZF classic design camera, and Sony will announce 2 rangefinder-like design cameras like the A7CR and the A7C2. And the first camera that will be announced is likely this Nikon ZF, which actually was rumored to be announced on August the 2nd, but a source told me that it appears that the announcement has been delayed for some reason that we don't know, but the delay is probably only for a couple of days or max a couple of weeks. So the camera will definitely come in August. And like I told you, a source that actually shared some correct info in the past gave me some details also about the Nikon ZF camera, but please take it with a grain of salt. Anyway, this is only one source, and he might got correct info about Sony and wrong info about Nikon. So take it with a grain of salt what he's saying. Also because the specs are pretty surprising if true. So let's check what he said. I will say that after handling it, it felt this was much more a full-frame ZF-C than a Z-mount DF. It seemed a bit more metally than the ZF-C. It had the feel of almost a GFX F50R to the extent that it was about as ergonomic as a brick. It used a very similar grip on the front to the one of the DF. It has a fully articulating screen, but not in the GX6 or A7R5 style. He also wrote that I was handling it while someone at Nikon told me it had the Z8, Z9 sensor in it. I only had a couple hours with it, and there were lots of other people there at the same time. But it would be a pretty big goof up on Nikon's part if he said that, but it wasn't correct. Not sure what to say otherwise, so I'm inclined to believe what he said. Is it possible the person that was telling me what sensor was inside was wrong? I suppose that's a remote possibility, but I doubt it. So according to him, the Nikon ZF would use the same Z8, Z9 46 megapixel sensor, which is quite a surprise. Also because he says the pricing of the camera is only $1,999. And that's actually when I started to doubt if he's telling the truth, because that would be quite a stunner if Nikon would release a sub $2,000 camera with the same Z8, Z9 sensor, and actually also the same Z8 autofocus performance. I don't know if it would kill the sales of the Z8 and the Z9. Of course, it still has only a single card slot and other things that probably limit the camera, but I just can't believe as of now that that will be the pricing or the sensor. So could be that the pricing is like the sensors info is wrong, or vice versa. But he's really sure about that, and he gave me correct info in the past, so maybe he's right, and really Nikon makes that big leap forward to give us a 46 megapixel camera for $1,999. And it would, if that turns out to be true, that would sell like hotcakes for sure. So this would be quite an exciting model. He also gave spec list. He said the camera will be announced in August. This has the same sensor and the autofocus as Z8, Z9. A few packages bundle will be available, but body only is $1,999. It's very similar to the ZF-C in terms of layout. It has a quick access black and white mode on the sub lever of the shutter speed dial. It has a little grip bump like the DF, a fully articulating screen, and a single SD card slot. I repeat, I don't know if those specs are correct. All I know is that the Nikon ZF is coming for sure in August, and that Sony will also announce the A7C2 and A7CR soon too. So we are going to have some nice classic mirrorless camera announcements. And let me know in the comment section what you think about the specs. If you think that camera, if the specs turn out to be true, if the camera is something that you would consider to buy, or how other companies should react to that. Because I think a camera like this, if it's priced at $2,000 with all the specs it has, the competition really has to react on this, and probably even the Sony A7C2 and A7CR would have to be priced accordingly to be competitive, and probably that's also good news for Sony shooters like me. I hope Sony will look at the announcement and eventually also consider to make a good price on the new A7C cameras. As soon as I have more info, I will make a new video, so please again subscribe, and I see you soon, folks.